Antino's well cleared. 3 lengths in front of the Wayne Wilson and kept going. It's all Antino, and Antino wins again. Antino from second. What a wonderful gallop.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Final Gallop. It is episode 292 and proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. This week we're all about Stradbroke Day at Eagle Farm on Saturday and the pinnacle of our Queensland Racing Carnival. Morning, Tony. How are you feeling ahead of one of our biggest race days and one of your favourite?
Yeah, good morning, Claire. It is one of our, well, it is the grand final day, isn't it? It's the pinnacle of the winter carnival. We do have a few meetings after this, but this is where all roads lead to at the start of our 5 weeks of Stradbroke season. So grand final day Saturday feels good. It's been a good build up. It's been busy. It's always a busy week, but it's a really fun week, and you know there's a lot of visitors in town now, and I think everyone's pretty excited. And I just want to get the saddle on and get him on the track and get this race underway. It certainly can't come quick enough for me. I'm just very much looking forward to the weekend. Okay,
just a quick look back at last week at Eagle Farm with the 2 winners for our stable, Princess Rani's and Hidden Wealth.
Yeah, Rani's was great. I alluded to on the show last week that I thought up to that distance, third up, still got a nice sharpness about her legs, and you know, back to that benchmark grade, she was spot on. She didn't do it the tough way, but she was really good, and that sets her on a great trajectory now for that race on Tats Day, that big mares race in 3 weeks between runs. And the other one, Hidden Wealth, well, he was great. He jumped well. He just lobbed outside lead, controlled nicely. Mullane was a hard luck story, running second in the race, but I thought he was good, Hidden Wealth, and I've been dying to see him do that again on a Saturday. It was just good to see him back on good ground, and he got a nice positive ride from Tommy. So both horses were great, but probably Rani's was probably the star of the show.
Now, before we get into our stable preview, we just want to let you know a little bit about a fundraiser for a very talented young filly in our stable, which is Tony's niece, Bless.
Yeah, she is. She's a very talented young girl. She's obviously my niece, Zoe's daughter. She's doing a fantastic job. She's only 15 and she's in the under 18 team heading to the World Championships for water polo.
Yes, in China.
In China. So there's obviously a little bit of fundraising to go into that. These are sports that don't have a lot of funding. So obviously the mums and dads have to try and put up a lot up, and it's a lot of expenses to get these kids away. She's hopefully earmarked to be a future Olympian. I'd love to see her here in Brisbane in 2032, which is where all roads sort of start now for her. So if there's anyone out there that can help, with Bless's journey towards what we hope is to be an Olympian, feel free to help out. It's a tax deductible help option, which is always pertinent at this time of year, coming up to the end of financial year. But she's a very talented kid. I'm very proud of her as her uncle and as our whole family. So really cheering Bless on as she heads away to China for the World Championships.
Absolutely. So if you would like to help Bless get to China, we have the details in our stable newsletter this week, and we'll also put details on our Facebook and Instagram page. Okay, on to the preview for our runners at Stradbroke Day at Eagle Farm on Saturday. The rail will be in the 4.5 metre position. The track's currently rated a good 4 with sunny days ahead. What do you think we can take from the track last week, Tony?
I think it'll be pretty similar, Claire. I thought it was really good. It was great to be back on a good surface. Obviously, there's a bit of wear to the inside, and that'll be similar again. This is our standard Stradbroke rail, our 4 to 4.5 metre rail. I probably think I'm hoping that the inside, just 3-4 metres, is probably a little bit inferior ground. It just gives horses a better chance then. Still plenty of track to work at Eagle Farm. It's a big, wide track. You've got a lot of track still to work with, and I think we'll see something very similar to last week, maybe a touch firmer. They'll be very reluctant to put too much irrigation on this track close to the meeting, just due to the root issues they've had with the grass there, because it will still tear up a touch. But we're looking for good track horses. Hopefully the fence just off a touch, playing very, very similar to last Saturday.
Okay, we kick off in race 1, which is the listed Wayne Wilson over the mile at Weight for Age, a race we did win last year with Antino. We'll have Freedom Rally in it this year, 59 kilos, James McDonald on board, and he's drawn barrier 1. He's chilling over there at the back of the box. He has had a great preparation and he is ready to peak now for a 4th run-in. At the moment he is paying $1.95 to win and $1.20 for the place. His last start he was very competitive in a Group 1 weight for age level in the Kingsford Smith Cup. Out to the mile, his last run, last prep was a dominant mile win at Eagle Farm from the front.
He's in great shape. I hope I'm starting off in race 2 and not race 1, to be honest. I hope he gets his first emergency in the Stradbroke, and he'd be an undeniable chance in that big race if he was to gain a start. But at the moment we're looking like we'll be in race 1. McDonald on board. He ticks all the boxes. There's a good bit of speed here. There's a couple of roll forward. He just races on speed with cover. Gets every chance. We know he's strong at the mile. He loves good ground. He's been racing on wet tracks all prep. Getting back on a good track, he's better again. So very happy with him. He's the right horse to kick it off. He looks and smells and breathes like Antino did last season, doesn't he? You know, he's on the cusp of getting in a Stradbroke. At this point in time, he's not there. But this race just stands out as a very obvious choice for him. And with McDonald on board, look, he's fresh off 5 winners here last week. He could win on a broomstick. He's on the right horse and got the right jockey and the right gate, so he tips himself.
Okay. Race 2 is the listed Hinkler Handicap over 1,200 metres, a race we also won last year with King Kappa. We have F Troop in it this year, 57 kilos. Tim Clark rides barrier 4. He's paying $21 to win and $4.80 for the place. Was very good in the Bat Out of Hell first up on a heavy 10. Went back to the trials last week and looked really good with this race firmly in mind.
He was really good in the Bat Out of Hell. That's not his surface, the heavy 10, but I wanted to kick him off on that day with always the option to go 5 weeks into this with a trial brilliant. He's in really good order. He ran second in this race last year to King Kappa. Timmy Clark rode him, he drew wide and he had to go right back and he come down the outside and he wasn't beaten far. I think he was beaten a neck or something like that. He was really good on and King Kappa led, so it was a leader dominated race. He's in good shape. He'll race closer here off a better draw, look to get to the outside. He loves Eagle Farm and he just seems to be peaking up. These horses tend to find form at the same time of the year, tend to do it again. And to me, he's as good, if not better, than what he was in this race last year. And I think this race is slightly inferior. So the odds surprised me. I know he hasn't won for a while, but he's undeniably good chance here.
Absolutely. Race 3 is the listed Oxlade Stakes over the 1,300 metres. We will have T in this. She'll carry 55 kilos with Tommy Berry to ride, barrier 8. She's paying $34 to win and $4 for the place. It was a great run first up in the listed Bill Carter at Doomben, going back last from a wide gate and ran on really well for 4th, making up many lengths. We'll appreciate the rise in trip and you'd think the bigger track at Eagle Farm.
Bigger track, better gate, rising trip, they're all pluses. Was beaten away when she ran 4th, but she was good to the line. She was in an unwinnable position where she was, but we had to ride her that way, drew to the draw. She's improved that aside. Physically, she looks so much better. She's just gone like that in the prep. Interesting race. I think there's a few chances in it. I think she's better than a $34 chance. She certainly wouldn't shock me if she's won for multiples here, because she's a big improver off that first up run.
We'll go down to race 7 now, which is the Group 2 Dane Ripper Stakes for the fillies and mares over 1,300 metres. You won this race for the first time last year with Comrade Rosa, and she is a great chance again this year. She'll carry 58 kilos. Ryan Maloney rides barrier 16. She's paying $13 to win and $4 for the place. Was a really good run first up in the Group 2 Victory Stakes and didn't appreciate the soft 6 in the Helen Coghlan last start. She'll get a preferred track conditions here, but she will have to contend with an outside barrier.
Yeah, which I'm not overly worried about, to be perfectly honest. She's a mare I think is better ridden in the second half of the field anyway. She come from well back in this race last year. She'll have to do the same. She's going every bit as good or not, if not better. Her form doesn't read that way because she hasn't struck a good track until this weekend. This is the first good track she's been on all prep. She's absolutely flying here. I could not be happy with her physically. She's in a better place than where she was last year when she won this race. I don't know whether this race is better or not compared to last year's race. Obviously many chances in it, as these mares races usually are as we lead to the tiara. So these mares are on that, really on that pointy end of their prep now, getting towards the tiara in a fortnight. Well, I couldn't be happier with her. Ryan will just ride her to relax early. He'll pick his way through the field. You'll see her jump out of the ground back on good tracks.
Okay. Then we go to race 8, which is the Group 1 Stradbroke Handicap over 1,400 metres. Antino is a definite runner in this year. 54.5 kilos, Vlad Jurek. He's drawn barrier 20, but if no scratchings will come into 16. He's paying $8 to win and $2.94 the place. He's had a great preparation leading into this. He won the Group 2 Victory Stakes at Eagle Farm first up, and then he ran through the line really strongly in the Kingsford Smith Cup last start at Weight for Age. He has a wide gate. But to give back some confidence, 6 of the last editions of the Stradbroke have been won by double-figure barriers, and 3 of those 15 or wider.
Yeah, history tells us the gates, if we look just into history, the gates aren't the biggest issue when you get a race like this. We've got a brilliant start at the 1,400. It just probably depends how the race is run. There's only one clear leader on paper, which is Prince of Boone. There's a few that'll be handy, I'm sure. And usually when you get these big handicaps, pressure does want to build. Horses with lighter weights can sustain longer runs and they get moving earlier, and that's how I hope the race is run. I don't really know how we're going to ride him yet. We'll leave that until Saturday. Haven't really spoke to Vlad too much post-barrier draw, so we'll discuss that as we go. But all I do know is that I couldn't have him any better. I'm really happy with where he's at. I've had a great preparation towards this. We've had basically a year to get him back here. and I'm really pleased with the road that we've taken. The horse is in good order. The key for me is that he can sustain a big run. He can,
Yes, he
whether
can.
it's early, whether it's late in the race, it doesn't matter. He's got a big run in him, and he's bang on. So provided we can get as good a run as possible from our draw,
Yeah.
I've got no doubt he's in the finish.
Okay, Freedom Rally is also in this race, but he is first emergency. If he does get in, he'll carry 51.5 kilos with Tyler Schiller riding. He's drawn barrier 5. He's paying $12 to win and $3.80 for the place in the Stradbroke. As we mentioned, last start he was really competitive at weight for age level in the Kingsford Smith Cup. He loves Eagle Farm, loves a trip, soft barrier, lightweight, just needs a scratching.
He does, Claire. We've been desperate to get him in ever since he got beat narrowly in the BRC sprint at Doomben. We backed him up in the Kingsford Smith, hoping to try and get that free ride in.
Yeah.
And look, we got the rating up, but just not up enough to get in at this stage. He's drawn well. He's the opposite to Antino when it comes to where we're going to be in the run. He's just going to lob into a beautiful position. If he gets in, he'll just tag the back of the speed. And if he gets in, he's going to give a great sight. He's well weighted. There's a sense of timing about his preparation, which I always wanted to be their third or fourth run in, which we're their fourth run in. So, both horses, I'm really pleased with the preps I've had to get them here.
Yes.
One's in, one's not.
Yeah.
We just need, I guess, the luck of the racing gods on Saturday to go our way. And if they come our way with both horses getting in, I know they're both in great shape. They worked together here Tuesday morning. I couldn't be more pleased with them.
Okay. We are into the final furlong of this week's Final Gallop. Who is your best winning chance on Stradbroke Day at Eagle Farm?
If Freedom Rally runs in the first, he tips himself. I think he'd be one of the shortest price favourites all day, and he'll kick the day off well for us.
Okay, your best each way chance?
Antino in the Stradbroke.
Okay.
I couldn't be happier with him. He said the 2 runs to have him absolutely spot on for this, and that's exactly what he is for the weekend. And
your best at the Provincials, just the Sunshine Coast on Friday night?
I think we'll stay away from the Provincials this week again. We'll look to just concentrate on Stradbroke Day here at Eagle Farm and hopefully leave with the big price.
Okay. Your best track worker this week?
They were my best, those 2 boys. They worked together, Antino in front, Freedom Rally behind on Tuesday morning, very early on the A-grass. And for those who were at the breakfast with the stars, didn't get to see these 2 because we worked them nice and early there, and their work was terrific, and they're just where they need to be. Okay, and your performance from the stable for the week? I'd say probably Rani's. Okay. She was really good, 3 wide, no cover, and to run the time she did, she's on for a really good run on Tats Day. You can follow her with confidence off that win. Okay. Now it is time for Cav's Corner, which is proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. He landed his first leg again last week with Black on Beauty in his multi, but he did weigh down little Zazzle, all that pizzazz, a little bit too much. He was still pretty gallant in defeat. Okay, Cav. That far. It's about that far. Yeah, well, we did apologise in advance to the owners. True. So yeah. Okay, Cav, what have you got for us this week?
Welcome to Cav's Corner for this week. We started off well last week, but we come to a halt very quickly on the Saturday. This week, not many runners. Eagle Farm on Saturday. Freedom Rally in the first, a win. And in the third race, we have T. We'll take her for a place. So that's Freedom Rally a win, T a place. Good putting, guys. So he's gone Freedom Rally a win in the first, if he's in the Wayne Wilson, into T for a place. Yeah, it's a nice multi. You can see her running a place. She'll settle a lot closer. You'll see her probably about third pair, I'd imagine, here in this race, and just lob along nice. And if you look at her at Doom and a better track and the big stretches of Eagle Farm are really to her liking. Absolutely. So I think she'll run really well. Okay. Good luck on Stradbroke Day, Tony. We have a small team of runners, but a pretty good quality one. Yeah, it was very similar to last year. We had a low on numbers Stradbroke Day. We were deep in quality. We ended up winning 2 or 3 races on the day. 3 races on the day I think we won last year. So hopefully we can do it again this year, and everyone get out there. It's going to be a great day. Look at the weather here in Queensland at the moment. Beautiful. Get out there to Stradbroke Day. It's the best day on our racing calendar. We're going to get the weather to go with it. We've got the horses there to go with it. Everyone turn up and have a great day. Absolutely. Best of luck to everyone.